Put your fucking hands up. fucking hands up.
Let everybody get in here first before I even start talking. Just trying to gather details and get everything pulled up. Oh boy. Now what you want to hear this morning, right? All right. So let's just pull Twitter. We can start there. So the basis of this thing, right, with the collapsed lung situation, CJ McCollum had this a couple of times. He had it twice, where he ended up missing 3 weeks total. Usually for athletes, it's actually uh, something that can commonly happen. But everybody's body is different. So hopefully Cade is just like the average athlete, man, where we can see him come back in 3 weeks, which is roughly around somewhere around 10 and a half to 11 games or something like that. Right before you get into that playoff push. Or if this thing takes like 6 weeks, that's about the end of the first round of the playoffs. So either way it goes, it's just up in limbo right now. And it sucks. The timing sucks. It sucks for the team. But most of all, it sucks for him because he's worked extremely hard this season. Extremely hard this season to get where, the Detroit Pistons are. And I don't want to see them lose everything that they built and worked for this season. Um, that sucks. That sucks the most. That sucks for most. It's not about basketball all the time, man. It's just not. That's why sometimes y'all see me. I don't come on here, every single game, following every single report and everything. That's why sometimes I take time off to not only get my own mental headspace, but there's other more important things going on in the world, like family, health, and everything else. It's more than basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's a long situation, whether, some consider it mild or not or whatever it is, it's still your health, man. And you don't want to play with your health. You just don't, you know, not only can it end your career, but it can end your life too. So yeah. Just a sucky situation, man. And Shams is, releasing more and more things. I follow a couple of athletic doctors and things like that. So I'm just reading through it. Um, yeah, yeah. So definitely looking as a mild case, which recovery time for that is usually between 1 to 2 weeks. It can be as early up as 72 hours, but it's the after that, what I'm saying, working yourself back into playing is what takes the extra weeks, and monitoring and make sure that it doesn't reoccur. That's what takes the extra weeks. And, like I said, there is a belief around the Pistons organization um that he will be back in time for the playoffs. So until we get something concrete from the Pistons about the severity of it, they're still going to have him uh, further evaluated. But until we can get some concrete things as far as some type of timeline or the severity of it, I'm gonna just leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say too much. I don't want to say too less. But the expected time is usually anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks recovery. And extended periods will be up to like 10 weeks in total. So yeah, it's dicey. It's dicey. I think he's going to be back, you know, for the playoffs. Um, my concern is the Pistons' rhythm. The not having Cade with the Detroit Pistons is we're a team built around Cade, man, and you know what I'm saying that's the danger and the severity of this roster. The guards that we have are not good enough to, have the Pistons survive for the rest of the season as far as holding first place. They're just not. Um, like I said, I've said several times, to be honest, only one of them is really a point guard. You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely gonna be a circus in that situation. And then Duren, you know, who's gonna feed Duren? Duren's gonna have to have an all world type of performance to hold the boat, man, because now you got to find who's going to feed them. These guys are not feeding type of dudes, man. They're not natural point guards. But this is the dice you roll. This is how you gamble. If you're Trajan Langdon, this is how you roll the dice. You know what I'm saying? And you see it with that organization too, the Lions, man. How they roll the dice with Jared Goff. They never really go and get a real backup quarterback. Is usually either somebody old past their time or is some no name guy. Well, with the Pistons, we relying on one guy, you know what I'm saying, right now. And we had an opportunity. We had an opportunity to go and get somebody because we had not only the space and the assets, even to go and just get somebody for now. They didn't have to be a part of the future, but this is why you want to weather that storm. This is why you want to weather that storm. So yeah, everything is definitely up in limbo right now, and I'm just straight up being factual with you guys. I'm straight up being factual with you guys. It's in limbo right now because me personally, as far as our backup backcourt goes, holding on with this stretch of games we got coming. Yeah, we're still in this easier stretch, but I can't even say that now. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen what this team can do without Cade. Um, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Yeah. Just going through a couple of y'all comments, man. Yeah, that's not true. We do not do good without Cade. First of all, Cade hasn't even really missed that much time this season. And then you lost to the worst team in the here's the thing. And this is why I put the video I put out last night, because I want y'all to realize something. I had people pulling up, I first said it on Twitter, and I had people pulling it. I'm gonna show y'all better than I can tell you. Let me pull this goofy stuff up real quick, because you always have the goofies. So let me share this with y'all. So this here, obviously the tweet was the same about what I put in my video last night. And you have the goofies that go and they run to an app or they run to something like this, right? And they'll post this as a response. He just thought he did something, right? The smartest guy in the world, right? But when you start to dig through these games, especially the OKCs and the Clevelands and the Celtics, when you start to dig through these games, the one thing that he's not mentioning is that these teams played zero starters. Zero starters those games. So when you have something like that and you pull it up and you feel, you pump your chest, I told him, no, you didn't. Those games, they had zero starters that you won. So that's where the concern lies for me. Without Cade playing against these teams at the end of the season, that you obviously can see just looking at Eastern Conference that they've wrapped up their play. Second half of the season has happened every season. They've ramped up the play. They're actually playing their guys. They're on winning streaks right now. And now your star guy goes down. Yes, as a Pistons fan, you should be concerned. And that's besides the point. Again, in those games, the players on the other team did not play. You're 5-2 without Cade against G Leaguers. I've done the research already. I literally watch every single game, right? This is what I do, right? So that makes that irrelevant. Yes, you're 5-2 without Cade, but against G League talent. That's what the alert video from last night was for. That's what it was for. It's fool's gold, man. It is fool's gold. So what y'all got to understand, I just show. Listen, man. Jack, hey, man, have a good morning. I don't have the patience, man. I just don't. The Kool-Aid drinking, it's not happening this morning, bro. It's not. We gonna be adults and we gonna act like we got some sense this morning. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you watch every Pistons game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now we got to go out here and see more minutes from this man. We got to see more minutes from this man. Good Lord. Man, we in trouble. We are in trouble. We just can't afford to, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, man, I truly do. I truly do because it's a mild case and it don't require surgery. And I know those Pistons trainers and medical staff, they're going to do their best. They're going to do their best to make sure he gets back out there because I'm probably sure that they don't want that to happen, right? Um, and I'm probably sure Cade is going to be mindful and do everything he can to get back out there. So I truly do believe he's going to be back for the playoffs. It's going to throw us off a little bit. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Man, the timing couldn't have been worse. The timing, Owen, bro. The timing couldn't have been worse. It couldn't have been worse, man. You know what I'm saying? We just can't have good things here in Detroit, right? You know, if it ain't the GMs destroying you, it's some type of injury. It's just, yes, it's just the timing is horrible. It's horrible, bro. You got these teams shrinking. They're getting themselves in a rhythm. Now your team is about to be out of rhythm. Not only the Celtics and the Cavs, forget the Knicks, Miami, bro. Miami. You know what I'm saying? The Eastern Conference is as expected, as on time. If you're a consistent follower of my content, as I said in the second half of the season, teams do this. They turn up the dial. They start actually playing. Hey, that's enough rest games. It's time to play now. Yes, Atlanta is also hot right now. That's what you do. And that's why I said in that video, and some people didn't like what I said, but I was like, I don't think the Pistons have another dial to turn it up anymore. I think they've turned it up already, and that's why they're in first place during this regular season. I don't think they have a dial to turn it up anymore, simply because of how limited the roster is. And now without your star player, it's like, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's even, and I hate to be the realist in this thing. I really do. I really do, but I'm not gonna give you Kool-Aid. I'm not. I'm just being straight with you. Because I don't want to get to the playoffs and people, when things happen and people looking like, what happened? Well, we should know already. We talked about this all season, right? I don't think so. I don't think if we can get through this stretch, we got to play OKC. We got a couple of games against the Timberwolves. If they sit some guys and we come out and win a couple of those games, maybe. Our schedule, let me go ahead and pull the schedule up. Give me a second, right quick. I'm gonna pull up the schedule because I've been looking at this thing for the last 2 weeks. I've been looking at this schedule. All right, so let's share this. All right, so here's the Piston schedule, right? So obviously, we got the Wizards tonight, and we gotta, definitely we really can't lose these type of games now. You got a Warriors team, right? You have the Lakers team. Luca just went stupid. um, you got a Lakers team, which is I'm not really worried about. But Atlanta's hot right now. The Pelicans are definitely playing better. Shout out to Sadiq Bey over there. He's definitely been playing better. Then you got the Timberwolves, OKC, the Raptors, and then you got the Timberwolves again. 76ers is a question mark. Orlando always plays us tough. Milwaukee is a dumpster. Then we got the Charlotte Hornets and the Pacers, bro. That finishes out your season. So, as far as the Eastern Conference goes and where the Detroit Pistons might end up, that's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting because a lot of those teams that I just named you should beat. But the question is, what type of team are you going to look like consistently without Cade? Not one or two games, consistently without Cade. Can you get yourself in some type of new rhythm and figure out some new chemistry? Can somebody pick up a load somewhere? Those are the questions, man, because the scorer of your team is out. So 10, 15 points between Dennis Jenkins, Sasser, and, but Karis LeVert or whatever it is, a piece, that might help. But the consistency with those guys just ain't been there. Dennis is coming off a horrible month of basketball where he just had his first showing against the Wizards. Sasser, little inconsistent. Herder's been on the way up a little bit over these last couple games or so. It's the question mark, man. We just need Duncan Robinson. We need Tobias Harris to step up, which is the wild card. We need guys to step up, bro. That's just what it is. This can't happen next season. You can't. And as soon as when the summer hits, Trajan Langdon has to get busy. Trajan Langdon has to get busy this summer. You got to go and get somebody else to go with these guys, bro. You have to. You got to go and get another scorer. It don't necessarily have to be some big name or a star, but you have to go and get another scorer. You cannot wait around. We can't do the wait and see thing no more. You should have did it at the trade deadline. But for everybody who says he's the GM and everything else, man, us average guys, yeah, we're pretty smart in basketball too. Some of us are older than Trajan Langdon and been watching a lot more basketball. We've seen these franchises fail. And just because you played in the league don't mean you're going to be good for a franchise. Trajan has to get aggressive. Stop being Brad Holmes. Go and get somebody while you had an opportunity. Simple and plain. Now, as far as who that person is going to be over the summer, you do got a lot of dinosaurs that'll be available this summer. I don't want to see none of that. Just go and get somebody in that mid-level that can score, that can, get buckets, man. We got defense. You know what I'm saying? We have that. We have one of the youngest teams in the NBA. Go and get somebody who can get some buckets, bro. Marvin, I'm not paying attention to you, bro. There is a no-fly zone for this guy here, bro. Do not make me reach out to Trick, bro. This guy cannot come to Detroit. It's over for him. Ruin my guy, you know what I'm saying? Ivy like that, bro. You can't come here. I don't care if you're in a Pistons jersey. We still ops. Yeah, man. We all did. Woke up scrolling on my phone and boom, bombshell. Bombshell, man. Man. What poetic ending would that be? You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much over with, man. The NBA ain't trying to speed up the process on anything, bro. They just dragging this thing out. Like if you got something on somebody, just say that. And if you don't, then come on, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? That's the NBA for you. They're good for ruining people's careers. And that's only if, what I'm saying, they don't find nothing fraudulent. But it is what it is. That's a frustrating situation too. I say, what are we looking at? How long does this take? Like, who's doing the investigating? How long does this take? Really? How long does it take? Does it really take an entire season for you to investigate something? NBA, man. Hey man, that's Google. That ain't me. I don't set them. I don't set that on my channel. That's Google. I had to man. That's why I went ahead and got premium a long time ago, bro. Cause yeah. Stewart will be back, man. He all right. He all right. Back his leg, his calf will get together. He all right. He'll be all right. He'll have to get back now. We need it. Only way. It is the only way on YouTube. Only way you're gonna watch videos in peace. And I use YouTube too much. Especially my kids use it. Yeah, nah, ain't no way. For a mild situation, it's 1 to 2 weeks recovery, and then you have the recovery period of getting back to basketball after that. So it could possibly be almost up to a month. That's my concern there. And I think he would, if he comes back in recovery time where people think it's going to be, where me personally, where I've seen some of these doctors say on Twitter, athletic doctors, if he comes back, which is the average is 10.8 games, right? If he comes back within that range, he still qualifies for MVP because I believe K had like 15 games, 15 or 14 or 15 games or something that he could miss. So I think he still falls in that range. But if this thing goes a little bit longer than it needs to, it's a wrap. And then, like I said, all NBA first team, you know, man, just the worst timing in the world, dude. Ah, yeah, and I had a small collapse too on mine, and it took care of itself. I didn't even know it was there. I just got a chest ray, chest X-ray, and they saw it on there, and it was small, a little collapse at the bottom of my lung, but it took care of itself. So, like I said, it happens, and like I said, sometimes it's spontaneous. You don't know where it's from. Uh, that's just how it is. Yeah. And once you get up and get to moving around and things like that, and you rest, and things take care of itself. No, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's spontaneous. It could either be from impact because he's an athlete, or it just happens, man. That's just how they happen. Either spontaneous or it's from some type of trauma. And Cade is, he took a lot of hard falls this season. Um, he took some shots. So it's either trauma or spontaneous. Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, with athletes, this is actually a more common thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when athletes are out, you don't see it be reported out there. You know what I'm saying? It depends on the extent of that athlete and who it is. But like I said, I mentioned before, CJ McCollum had it twice. And, both instances he missed 3 weeks. So if Cade misses 3 weeks, that's enough time for him to get back for the playoffs. And that is also within the game's range of him still being eligible for MVP. So, and I truly do believe that's where it's going to be, somewhere around that time. So, and like I said, when Shams first reported it, he said that there is belief around, the organization that he'll be back for the playoffs. Yeah. Oh man, I'm glad you made it out of there. I'm glad you made it out of that hospital. You usually come out that hospital with a toe tag. And that's the neighborhood hospital where I grew up. You know what I'm saying? So over there off of Ida Drive, I grew up off of there off of 7 Mile of Southfield. So yeah, I had plenty family members, including my own pops, that didn't make it out of that place. To be honest, that place was the reason my pops didn't make it out of there. The nurse wasn't paying attention to, or checking on my pops like you supposed to. Yeah. Sinai is definitely not the hospital to go to. It is not. It's gonna be interesting, man. I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. That's pretty much all I really got, man, this morning. I just wanted to come on here and get the vibe of the fans, man, and see what you guys thought about the situation. Um, like I said, as it continues to unfold, we get any new corners, you know, any new anything to it, then I'll come on here and we can have a discussion about it. But in the meantime, you guys, try to enjoy the rest of your day. It's going to be interesting to watch that game tonight, right? Right. So we'll see what type of team we're going to have without K going forward, at least for a couple of weeks. With that said, I appreciate y'all for coming in. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.